All right, let's talk about money. But we're not just going to talk about budgets and interest rates. We're going to dive into the psychology of one of the single toughest financial hurdles out there, saving that very first $1,000. You see, it's not really about cutting your morning coffee or skipping a night out. The challenge of saving your first grand is, well, it's better described as this: psychological warfare. It's a battle that's fought not in your bank account, but right between your ears. Okay, psychological warfare. That sounds pretty intense, right? But what does that really mean? I mean, if it's a war, who's the enemy? And more importantly, how in the world do you win? Let's break down the battle plan. First things first, and this is absolutely crucial. If you've ever struggled with this, you need to hear me on this. It's not just you. You are not alone. There's a very real reason this first milestone feels almost impossible. It's literally designed to be the hardest part of the entire journey. This right here, this reframes the whole problem perfectly. On the left, you've got the enemies we think we're fighting, right? Not enough income, expenses are too high, or maybe we just think we lack willpower. But look at the right side. The real enemy, it's inside us. It's something called a scarcity mindset, our own weird cognitive biases, and plain old decision fatigue. So let's zoom in on that main opponent, the scarcity mindset. Basically, when your brain feels like there's never enough of something, in this case, money, it flips into survival mode. All it can focus on is the immediate problem, paying this bill right now, getting groceries for tonight. A long-term goal like saving $1,000, your brain doesn't even have the bandwidth for it. It feels like a fantasy. And that is the trap of the scarcity mindset, right there. You're just constantly putting out fires. You're reacting to one emergency after another instead of actually getting ahead and planning. And what happens when you're under that kind of constant stress? You're way more likely to make a bad financial choice, which, of course, just starts the next fire. So the thing to really get here is that this isn't just a bad habit. It's a self-perpetuating cycle. The stress leads to bad decisions, which leads to more financial problems, which, you guessed it, leads to even more stress. It's like a psychological prison, and it's incredibly tough to break out of. But, and this is a big but, you can break out. Just recognizing who the real enemy is, that's the first major step. So now let's talk strategy. Let's talk about how to win this mental game. It is time to fight back. Here is your battle plan. Number 1, automate your savings. Take willpower completely out of the equation. Just set it and forget it. Even $5 a week makes a huge difference. 2, reframe the goal. $1,000 sounds massive. $20 a week? That feels doable. You gotta celebrate those small, consistent wins. 3, visualize your progress. Use a chart, an app, whatever works, make it real so you can see it growing. And finally, number 4, and this might be the most important one, forgive the small setbacks. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Don't fall into that all or nothing trap. This brings us to a great metaphor, the financial snowball. Think about it. When you're trying to roll a giant snowball, that first little push, packing that first small ball of snow together, that takes the most effort, right? But once it starts rolling downhill, it picks up more and more snow on its own. It gains momentum with less and less effort from you. Your first $1,000, that's the initial push. And this chart shows that idea perfectly. I mean, look at that bar on the far left. The psychological effort, the mental energy to get that first 1,000 is huge. But as that snowball starts rolling and you build momentum, look what happens. The effort needed for the next 5,000 and then the next 10,000, it gets smaller and smaller. You're building a habit, and it just becomes a natural, less stressful part of your life. So let's just sum it all up here. Getting to that first $1,000 milestone, it's not really a math problem. It's not about spreadsheets and complex budgets. I mean, sure, those are the tools, but the real victory, the real win, comes from understanding and then beating the game that's being played inside your own head. That first battle proves to you that it's possible. It shatters that cycle of scarcity, and it builds the foundation for real, lasting momentum. So the question isn't really just about saving some money. It's about taking back control. This first battle, it's the most important one you'll fight. So are you ready to win the war?